All right, everybody, we are live here at CBC Tower
Mm-hmm.
Radio. This is Anime and Adonai
Yep.
with your boy Philip Moonpie Man Fulmer and my good
And
friend
Red, Nathan Young, just the simple that.
Simple Red.
Simple Red.
Still love how short your name is. You
Yes.
got Red and Moonpie, the Moonpie Man.
Yep.
Today we're gonna be hitting up an awesome movie, not a TV show, but it's still anime and it's
I
still
think
amazing.
I think it mixes up because we've been doing a lot of action
Yeah,
recently, so
we've
it's
we've tried to hit up Sword Art Online, Full Metal Alchemist
been
Brotherhood.
and they're action. So we kind of got into the what is it the it's not more of the movie scene. So something a little
A little
less.
slower, a little sweeter,
Yeah.
because last week was Valentine's, if you guys remember, and so Your Name, the movie we're touching on today,
Kind of
is
reflects that. It has it
oh yeah,
like
it's a romance.
it's a romance. Yeah,
So you got two guys here talking about sweet,
romance.
gushy
Yeah,
high schoolers falling in love.
yeah,
It's gonna be great. Before we get started, let's have Red hit up the weather for us and see how we're doing today.
yep. It's gonna be obviously right now it's 45 degrees, but I think throughout the week it's gonna be sunny. Rest of the week like Friday and Saturday, and then it's gonna start getting cloudy and rainy the following week, like Sunday and Monday next week. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's the weather.
still gonna be pretty cold. It'll get up into
But the
let's look like
weekend's
the
gonna be nice because it's gonna be a little
yeah
sunny.
yeah
May not be
50s.
hot, but it's gonna it may not warm up, but it's gonna be at least you can do some chores or something or go outside a little bit.
Yeah, will probably be low 50s.
Yeah.
Our verse of the day in Bible Gateway comes from Proverbs 17:9, which says, "Whoever covers an offense seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates close friends." So, any thoughts on our verse here,
It's
real quick?
basically like whoever covers an offense seeks love, and it's basically saying and who repeats a matter separates close friends. It's saying like if someone's not getting along, like it's kind of like in a lot of friendships and a lot of relationships. There's a lot. We're not perfect beings, and we're always gonna have offenses in a sense of like we're always gonna maybe do people wrong or just offend them in some way. Not meaning to because
Hmm.
we're sinners, but like this proverb was saying is proverbs are wisdom that you need to take is whoever covers a offense seeks love, saying like whoever's trying to seek forgiveness and trying to cover an like offense they done to you, that's showing that they care about you and they care about the relationship instead of the ones that say they want to repeat the wrongs they've
Yeah,
done to
keep
you.
bringing it up,
Yeah.
keep going over it. Yep, good thoughts. All right, so again, what we're doing right now is going to do Your Name. And remember, with Anime and Adonai, we want to analyze our TV show or movie
Mm-hmm.
in anime, figure out what's talking about, what are its characters like, what is the plot like, and then be able to bring it back in with its themes and see how we can apply it as Christians in
Yep.
our daily life. What is the messages this
Yeah,
is bringing?
what its story, because everything has a story, and what is the values and like you said, the themes are taking place in that.
Hmm.
How we can apply to
Yeah.
that.
So Your Name came out in 2016.
Hmm.
It was made by Makoto Shinkai, if I got that name right.
It's very surprising. Just like when I watched the movie myself, like the movie is so beautiful. It's like the one of the best animation I ever like seen in
Oh yeah.
in an anime or just it was a movie, but it's still an anime with animation, and it's just so neat to see the animation. I was like, this is 2016. I thought it was like made now with all this like neat technology, but
Oh yeah, it's got beautiful animation,
yeah.
beautiful story. It's the highest grossing anime movie of all time.
Hmm.
So quick fun fact there. So we're not the only ones who thinks it's great. But we're gonna play a song for you guys real quick, kind of open it up, and when we come back, we will dive into the plot,
Yep,
characters.
it's from one of the soundtracks. It's one song from the soundtracks that we
Yeah, this
from the
is
movie.
the opening song,
Yep.
Dream Lantern. So here we go.
したらいいのにな。そしたらね二人でどんな言葉を放とう。消えることない約束を二人でせーので言おう。金があったら何がしかが叶う。その言葉の目をもう見れなくなったのは一体いつからだろうか。何故だろうか。ああ雨の止むまさにその切れ間と虹の出発点終点とこの命果てる場所に何かがあるっていつも言い張っていた。いつか行こうぜ生命も見と磨いたくの感情にハイタッチして時間にキスを5次元にからかわれてそれでも君を見るよ。また初めましての合図を決めよう。君の名を今追いかけるよ。
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that.
Cool!
That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
All right, guys, we are back with Anime and Adonai. Going to get started here. So to begin, let's talk about the plot of the story. What is your name's story? So, Red, why don't you start us off? Give us kind of a rundown of it.
Well, the beginning it talks about has. Well, I think it starts with the girl, right?
Yes.
You know.
There's a girl. There's a guy. Mitsuha.
Mitsuha. I always butcher her name, but it starts with Mitsuha, and it kind of goes with her life, and then it goes and it kind of explain. It doesn't really explain a lot of background, but it kind of shows the cutscene of the town and kind of her life, and then she goes into the classroom and they kind of say, "Hey, you've been acting weird a little bit," and then she's like, "How?" And she, and she started, kind of like questioning it, and she started having these dreams about I always wanted to go to Tokyo and stuff like this, and then all of a sudden you cut scene to a guy in Tokyo named Taki, and then it starts going into how they, they always dream to, because he hates the hustle and bustle of the town. And she just wants to go to, I would like to escape this, small town.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, they start, every other day of the week, they start switching bodies.
Yeah, and so that's the big...
That's the big plot.
The big plot of the stories. You've got this high school girl in this little town in the middle of nowhere in Japan who's tired of her small town life. She wants to be a guy. She wants to be in Tokyo, have adventure, all of that. And then in Tokyo, you've got this guy, Taki, a high schooler, who really he's pretty much all right with his life. He has a job, he's working, but when they fall asleep, like you said, some nights they swap places and spend the next day in each other's bodies. So it's kind of that Freaky Friday idea,
And they think they're just dreaming for a while.
Yeah, they don't really realize what's going on, so they're like, wow, this is a pretty cool dream, just as I always wanted.
And so Misua is just going to school, and she just looks at the flip note, look at her notes, and all says, "Who are you?" And she's just like, "Huh?" And she's kind of taken back, and she's like, "I don't, oh, it's just, okay, I think that's just something crazy." and then they start writing more notes to each other, finally figuring out this is not a dream. This is actually, because they started looking at the calendars and looking at the days, and then it's not dreams. These are actually days that they're missing when they're in that other person's body.
Yeah.
So they start like, leaving notes on their phones
Mm-hmm.
and sticky notes and a bunch of things like that to let them know. So basically, they had every day of the week, like one day, be like every other day. So they'd be switching bodies every other day, and it'd be so funny as they had to learn how to live each other's life.
Yeah. The Mitsuha has to learn how to work a job at a cafe
Yeah.
in Tokyo. She loves eating at cafes, but working a job at one is a whole different matter. Taki has to figure out, how do I, not overwhelm people with being a guy, and so owning everyone in sports, or
Oh yeah.
keeping up
That
with
is so-
special rituals that
And
is
it's
been
kind
in
of funny
her
is
family.
like I remember in the classroom they said something. I guess they said something about her, and it was when Taki was in her body,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, you know what? Because he was more bold than she was, and he's just like, I'm not dealing with this. So he just kicks a desk to like make everyone shut up about talking about behind his her back when he was in her body, and it was just so funny.
Yeah,
like
and
how
then he crosses his legs and like, you can't do that. You're a girl. He's like, what? Come on, man.
because you can't he's so it's just like you see even the people that are living with them daily see the difference.
Yeah.
So there's like, it's just another they would call them the off day. It's like another off day. Like the
Yeah,
sister's like
they're just weird.
they're like in the mornings the sister go and like it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's like she's she's like she's not herself again, and it's like it's
Yep.
another off day.
So that goes on for a while as these two people figure out what each other's lives are like, and they start being able to kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
But at one point, there is a comet that's
Yeah.
coming. This famous comet that's going to pass over Mitsuha's hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the night that the comet is supposed to come that she and Taki suddenly stop switching bodies.
Yeah, and that's what really concerned Taki is
Yeah.
when he stopped getting all these journal entries from her
Mm-hmm.
after that, like after that day of that comet.
Yeah, he just knows something's happened. He doesn't really know what.
You just start seeing like, she's not responding anymore.
Right. So since she's not making any more notes, he decides he's gonna try to remember from his memories when he was in her spot to figure out where she lives, so he can go find her and figure out what's going on. So he goes with some friends. He goes out of Tokyo. He doesn't know the name of the town, but he remembers what it looks like. So he goes around searching for it. And when he finally finds the town that Mitsuha lives in, we get the next big twist in the story.
Yes, it was like the first part. I thought that would just be the main thing, and then all of a sudden it just hits you with a whammy of what was it, like he was in a diner or something like that trying to search for the area.
Yeah.
And then he had a drawing that he vividly remembered from switching bodies with her, and so Taki asks, he's like, do you know where this? He's like, and I think the waitress is like, yeah, I think the husband.
Yeah,
was a
my
cook or
husband
something.
knows that place.
And my husband grew up there, and he's like, yeah, you don't know what happened, and so then it shows a cutscene of seeing what happened to the town.
Yeah, and so it's revealed that the comet that had passed over Mitsuha's hometown had split apart,
Yeah.
and a section of it had actually struck the earth and wiped out the entire town where Mitsuha lived. And so now Taki's really freaking out. He's like, well, I've been swapping places with her. How did I not know
Yeah.
about this? What happened? I don't know what's going on, because the comet destroyed the town 3 years ago.
Yeah, and so that's why he's like kind of like, it was even more of a whammy, because it was not just, oh, this place is gone. This was 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's just now he's like, I was going into a different body 3 years ago. So it's like
It's not only body swapping, it's time traveling.
Now it's time travel.
And when you combine both of those, you know you've got something pretty crazy going on. So Taki realizes that all these people he's come to love in Mitsuha's world, they're all dead
Yeah.
and gone. And so the rest of the story is him having to manage to go back into Mitsuha's body, and they body swap one more time. And he's got to figure out, how do I save the town from this comet that is about to come? And they have to save the town, convince everyone. Taki and Mitsuha have to find each other for real this time, and meet and see if they can finally get together and fall in love and all that happy stuff. So that's the plot of the story. It's got lots of good twists and turns. I didn't see the time traveling.
Yeah,
This
I
happened
didn't
3
see-
years
I-
ago,
I
coming
didn't
at
see-
all.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I just saw they're probably just gonna fall in love after they, figure all of the body switching. And
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is gonna be a nice little. It was like, oh my gosh, it was like, this is a twist.
Yes, and so the reason for the time traveling and the body swapping is never fully explained.
No,
It's talked
not.
about that Mitsuha and her family for generations have been part of the special ritual or group
Yeah.
that's got magic comet powers.
It's like
something.
there was a lot of things that they just throw in, and you're just like, oh, okay. And then one was that really got me was when Taki was, took his grandma, when he was in Misa's body, he basically carried her, and they were like, we're gonna go to I think it was a shrine.
Yeah, shrine.
And that's also important in the movie too. But like when they went to the shrine the first time, Taki was in her body, and when he was trying to figure out, he's being explained. So he doesn't know any of this. So he's being explained about the shrine and stuff like that. She talks about the union, and it's kind of like,
Yes.
and then it kind of like it talks about like that, and I'm like, oh, that kind of might explain why they're switching bodies because of this ritual or something like that.
Yeah, so it's not really fully explained, but
There's
then
some,
they put on a great soundtrack or something, and you're like, all is forgiven. I just want to watch this.
it's just like, oh, let me just finish it.
yeah. So, so that's the plot. So, what were your reactions when you saw it? Because you just saw it for the first time
Yes,
recently.
So when I watched it, it was, at first I was like, oh, this is kind of neat with talk about the body swapping and stuff like that, and then the 3 years thing, and I was just like, okay, that's what got me. I was just like, okay, what are they gonna do? But my thing is I'm a sap for, I watch a lot of action anime, but I'm a sap for some romance and stuff here and there.
You're not alone there.
I'm not like, hey, I'm a single male going to college. Might as well watch some romance anime. It's just like, but it's like most of the stuff I watch is like it's kind of like that high school, like that type stuff, but this kind of reminded me of that is, so like at the end, that's what really got me mad. I was just like, show me the life.
Yeah,
It was
because
like Full Metal Alchemist, that's what I loved was Edward and what's the girl's name?
Winry.
Winry. When they throw that in at the cutscenes and stuff at the end of that series. Though that's like I don't deliberately watch a lot of romantic stuff, but I like romantic stuff in my anime. Like especially at the end when they got together, I was like, oh, this is the good wrap up for the series. But
Yeah.
What got me was the anime itself is very vague in everything they do. Even though it's so great, like this anime movie is so great, it just so like all the main things are vague. They don't really go into a lot of detail how they body swapped,
Right,
why they body
right.
swapped, why they had a chance to fix the 3 years thing and the comet, and then they just show the kind of like the scene where they finally find each other a couple years after the thing because they forgot each other's names. That's why it's so like iconic for the your name thing, and it was so interesting. Like at the end, they finally go up the stairs. They were searching for each other. Like they were chasing each other, and they try to act all like, downplay. Like they're just saying like, okay, I just rushed over here. Okay, act casual, and they start acting casual going down. Up
Well,
and
they
down the
haven't
stairs.
seen each other or really
Yeah, but
remember each other, so it's like it'd be kind of weird if I go up to a person and I say, "Didn't I swap bodies with you a couple of years back?"
No, but but it was just so weird because they just like they were both each other know, like I don't know if they knew, but both each other are like running and like sprinting to find each other because they went on a train and they saw each other on the opposite trains and they're like, we gotta get out, and so they just run and try to find each other, and then it's just this casual like. And then the guy and the talkie has to make the move and say like, "Do I know you from somewhere?"
Yeah,
And
smooth,
then they
very
start,
smooth.
And then they start crying and all that, and I'm like, so and they just end it, and I'm like, no, show me like the happy ending. It's you don't know.
Okay, so did you not like the ending? Because I liked it. I
I
liked
liked it.
how it was all leading up to that point, and they finally found each
I liked
other.
how they found each other, but I want to see like all the
5 years later.
like like them get married or whatever. That
Oh,
kinda
you want the full,
kind of like
full
see their
ending.
like life. Yeah, I want to kind of see their life a little bit.
Okay, I can get that. I can
Because
get
you
that.
know that they like the whole reason is like Taki, he dates one of the girls that was like helping him go find
Mitsuha, right?
and she even realized he's like, you like someone else. and so like and it's kind of that's why I was like kind of wanting to see the not just them find each other. I was kind of seeing like how their life was like because they literally lived each other's lives. And then they finally find each other. I kind of want to see what their relationship was like.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because that is.
Because that's like a. That's
They had
like
never
a,
actually talked with each other really, except
no, that's what, I
maybe
want to kind of
once.
see their interaction.
Yeah.
All you see is, hey, I know you from. That's all you
It's
see.
a bit more romantic than that. Hey, I know you from somewhere.
I know, but that's pretty much how it was.
I get you. Yeah. Yeah. When I watched the movie, I've watched it 4 times now.
You're a champ at watching it.
I am a
don't-
champ. I watched it the first time I watched it. I had never seen anything like it. I loved the animation. I loved the music, and we'll talk about that more in a bit. I also was blown away by the time difference. I was like, oh my goodness, she's dead. They're all
It's just
they're
like-
all dead.
You don't find. I'm gonna tell you. You don't find a lot of shows that do any twist or like. There's not a lot of plot. Like that's why a lot of people are like, oh, weeb. You watch like Japanese stuff, and I'm like, okay. But every time I watch a show, I have not found American. I'm not dissing on American shows or any other shows, but like anime, they like if they have a story, they just run with it.
Yeah.
There's so many like neat stories that go in this genre of shows.
Anime is more willing to push
Well,
boundaries
yeah, they're
and
willing to push
go
the
crazy.
storyline, and it's kind of neat to see that. That's why I like anime because you don't see like Sword Art Online in a live action anime, or not like a live action like movie from America or
Yeah.
something. You wouldn't see that. It is only an animation show that they willing to test out the waters for whatever storyline they want to
Yeah.
pitch. But
Yeah, I always say anime takes just about anything in entertainment and pushes it to an 11.
yeah, there's a good or bad in that genre.
Yes.
But,
But for your name, when it comes to
Yes,
the
that was really good.
emotional, tear-jerking, heart-wrenching moments, it definitely took it up to an 11 because
Yeah, it
I bawled my eyes out.
yeah, it was really. I'm not a crier, but I was just like, oh, this is great. They
Yeah.
fought each other.
I've cried every time I've watched
It was
it.
so great.
So the ending of the movie, when the movie ended, and I'd watched it for the first time with a friend, we both just looked at each other when the movie ended, and we got up and we just hugged each other throughout the entire credits. Because I was like, oh my goodness, all my emotions, I'm just crying. I can't stop crying. And so we just hugged as men do, in
just-
brotherly, weeb affection,
that's-
as realizing that
that's-
we just
that's
watched
how,
something
like,
amazing.
Me and my friends were we watched I think it was Full Metal Alchemist, and we watched the original one, and it was and then the ending, and the ending was so great. I was like, out of all this, the ending like just took the cake, and I'm just like, oh, we
Yeah.
get to see everything wrap up, and we're just like, come here, this is great,
Yeah.
and that's
That's what I love about anime.
that's what it's a good it's good entertainment.
All right. So those are my reactions. Do you have any thoughts on the characters? We've got Mitsuha, Taki, some of their friends.
Okay,
Anything you liked or didn't like?
Taki was, I think, like Misa and Taki, they really, I think the story itself, they really made Misua like a girly girl, and they made Taki like the iconic, like like high school dude.
Awesome high school guy.
Yeah, it's just like, and so when they switch bodies, it's like not just this like little personality changes, like a complete 180, like so the friends could see the difference and everything. So that was kind of neat to see, like the interactions with the people when they switch bodies.
Yeah,
kind of neat.
But I also like how when Mitsuha was in Taki's body, she was trying to help him and like get him set up with this other girl.
That was so funny.
She was trying to help him get with a girl.
And he's like, I don't want to date.
Yeah, and so when Taki was in Mitsuha's body, he showed a lot of kindness to their family, to their grandmother, and their friends. And so they're body swapping, they're trying to comprehend, what's going on, but both of these characters really are nice, and they like to help out each other, each other, but also each other's lives.
You kind of see their genuineness when they're body swapping. It's like,
Yeah. So I like that. There are some side characters. We've got Mitsuha has a sister and some friends. Taki has some friends. They don't play a huge role, but they're fun.
Like,
they're fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fun to see like
especially their reactions.
Their reactions to like what because obviously they're seeing like that's they're not acting the way they usually do and stuff like that. So they're kind of freaking out a little bit in the movie.
Yeah.
A little bit, especially the sister. The sister's just like, you're not acting like yourself.
Yeah. So, the characters, I really like the characters. They're not exactly deep, but they don't have to be. This movie isn't for serious character development. It's more of their relationship.
I think the only really character development in the anime was the main characters, and I think they did really well of throwing in even though they didn't really develop the other characters, I think they were meant to kind of uplift and kind of like know more about the main characters even more.
Yeah, they helped shed
with the sister and all that.
Different light.
They learned about the life of like the temple and all that, and the grandma. Kind of like you don't really know a lot about her, but like the things that she says and the interactions when Taki was switching places and heard the stories and all this. It's like kind of gives you more insight of their each other's life.
Yeah. So another thing I want to point out, we've both mentioned this already, but this movie's animation is one of the best, probably out of any movie I've seen, the best animation.
Like even if you don't want to watch the movie, just look up pictures of
yes.
it. And it's just like the sky scenes, even just like all the comet scenes and stuff like that. So beautiful.
Yeah, it's a testimony to, because you think it's 2D animation, so you're like, we've gone so far in 3D. How could 2D still have be better or anything? But you look at the animation here, and it's just like,
man,
America has nothing on it. I'm sorry, America.
It's just like, and my thing is like, as a Christian perspective, I'm like, man, like God. God said to create, and we definitely created some things.
Yeah, it's amazing to see the creation nature,
yeah.
but then also as man uses technology and art to reproduce that in a movie like Your Name, it's equally beautiful in a different way.
Yeah, it's and you just see that craftsmanship and just this anime itself. It's just so great.
Very, very crisp colors. It's sharp. The nature, like you said, the clouds, the skies are beautifully done. Honestly, I can pause you can pause the movie at just about any moment and
you could just put
make
that
a poster on it.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Put it up on a wall. Like, no joke. So definitely watch the movie if you're a fan of beautiful animation.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of story or love or romance at all, definitely watch it because it will
It
definitely.
may be
tug
shy.
at your heart.
It may not be super deep, but it's like it gets your heart there.
Yeah, it's beautiful in more ways than one.
Yep.
Another thing that adds to the beauty of this movie is the music.
Yeah.
The music was made by a band called Radwimps. You've already heard one song. We're about to play some more. But how did you like the music in it? Because I
just-
loved it.
Like I think without the music, it just wouldn't make because it had a lot of nature, just a lot of the music itself just made the made the anime, made the movie, and we had the opening, and we're gonna kind of go into some other, I think. What's the name of this song that we're gonna reference?
Yeah, we're about to hit Zenzen Z. I don't
That
know how to
was,
say Japanese words. I'm sorry, but
Zanzen Z. I think Zanzen Z. But
Zenzen Z.
yeah, we're Americans. We only speak English, so sorry.
Go
about
Gomen, as they say in Japanese.
Gomen.
I'm sorry.
that.
But yeah, I agree that the music just pushed the emotions and the feelings of every moment.
It's kind of like
far
it's
past
kinda
what it
like-
would be
It's kind of like
anywhere
Star
else.
Wars in a sense. Is Star Wars? You like every time you watch it, you're like, if it didn't have it, like when you think of Star Wars, you also think of the music, all the stuff that goes on with the music because it's so well made, and it's kind of like this movie is the music and the movie itself are kind of intertwined. Where there's no like you can't just take the music away and expect it to be the same movie. You can't take so it's like a really good. Movie all around. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. So we're gonna play you two songs.
And then we'll go into the application.
Then we'll hit the themes and the application like we always love to do. But since this show has this movie has one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. I encourage y'all to listen to it. Look up the album because the rest of the album is great. But
It's
listen to
just-
these two
yeah.
songs, and I think you'll get what we mean when we say
Yeah,
how
it's
great
like
they are.
I think it's like good study music because it's not any lyrics or anything. It's just a soundtrack, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like some background music, and it's kind of neat.
Well, these have soundtrack. These have words.
These have words.
You'll see. All right, let's get these songs. When we come back, we'll hit up the themes and see how we can apply and learn from them as Christians.
やっと目を覚ましたかいそれなのになぜ目も合わせやしないんだい遅いよと怒る君これでもやれるだけ飛ばしてきたんだよ心が体を追い越してきたんだよ君の髪や瞳だけで胸が痛いよ同じ時を吸い込んで離したくないよ遥か昔から知るその声に生まれて初めて何を言えばいい君の全然前世から僕は君を探し始めたよその不吉祥な笑い方をめがけてやってきたんだよ君が全部なくなってチリチリになったってもう迷わないまた一から探し始めるさむしろゼロからまた宇宙を始めてみようかどっから話すかな君が眠っていた間のストーリー何億何光年分の物語を語りに来たんだよけどいざその姿この目に映すと君も知らぬ君とじゃれて戯れたいよ君の消える痛みまで愛してみたいよ銀河何個分かの果てに出会えたその手を壊さずどう握ったな フラを誰が止めるというんだろう。もう迷わない君のハートに旗を立てるよ。君は僕から諦め方を奪い取ったの。探し始めたよ。その不吉祥な笑い方をめがけてやってきたんだよ。君が全部なくなってチリチリになったって、もう迷わないまた一から探し始めるさ。何光年でもこの歌を口ずさみながら
What's up, fellow gamers? This is DJ Updog, and you're listening to CBC Tower Radio. Tune into my show, The Doghouse, from 3 to 5 every Friday for the latest in gaming news, reviews, and discussion.
二人の間通り過ぎた風はどこから寂しさを運んできたの。泣いたりしたその後の空はやけに透き通っていたりしたんだ。いつもは尖ってた父の言葉が今日は暖かく感じました。優しさも笑顔も夢の語り方も知らなくて全部君を真似たよ。もう少しだけでいい、あと少しだけでいい、もう少しだけでいいから、もう少しだけでいい、あと少しだけでいい、もう少しだけくっついていようか。僕らタイムフライヤー、時を駆け上がるクライマー、時のかくれんぼはぐれっこはもう嫌なんだ。嬉しくて泣くのは悲しくて笑うのは君の心が君を追い越したんだよ。星にまで願って手に入れたおもちゃも部屋の隅っこに今転がってる。叶えたい夢も今日で100個できたよ。たった一つといつか交換こしよう。いつもは喋らないあの子に今日は放課後また明日と声をか 分けた慣れないこともたまにならいいね特にあなたが隣にいたらもう少しだけでいいあと少しだけでいいもう少しだけでいいからもう少しだけでいいあと少しだけでいいもう少しだけくっついていようよ僕らタイムフライヤー君を知っていたんだ僕が僕の名前を覚えるよりずっと前に君のいない世界にも何かの意味はきっとあってでも君のいない世界など夏休みのない8月のよ君のいない世界など笑うことないサンタのよ君のいない世界など僕らタイムフライヤー時を駆け上がるクライマー時のかくれんぼはぐれっこはもう嫌なんだなんでもないややっぱりなんでもないや今から行くよ僕らタイムフライヤー時を駆け上がるクライマー時のかくれんぼはぐれっこはもういいよ君は派手なくらいやその涙止めてみたいなだけど君は拒んだこぼれるままの涙を見て分かった嬉しくて泣くのは悲しくて笑うのは僕の心が僕を追い越したんだよ
All right, everybody, we
And
are
we're
back
back.
to Anime and Adonai. This is Moon Pie Man
And Red.
and Red. We've been talking about Your Name. Just got to hear 2 awesome tracks from the movie itself. I hope y'all kind of got what we were saying about it's really good.
It's like, obviously can't understand anything. Like, was it in English?
No, that
No,
was
so
Japanese.
you couldn't understand anything, but it's just great.
But you know it's beautiful.
You know it's beautiful.
And if you know the scenes where those songs come in,
Yeah,
it's
just
great.
so nice.
Yes.
So we're gonna go ahead and go into the themes. This is kind of like the storyline, or kind of like the main things that they address in the movie.
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of relate to our Christian life. So the things we state may not be biblical in a sense, or may not be holistic in our but we're just gonna address the themes.
Yeah, but we still want to talk about and give respect to what the show is pushing and
Yes,
supporting.
because a lot of shows that you watch these days, they everything has a theme and a story, and some of those may not resonate with biblical truth.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is a family friendly. I wouldn't say super family friendly, but it's like there's no cuss words, or it's not like a lot of,
For Your Name.
yeah.
Yeah, no,
It's a pretty. I think like a PG.
It's PG-13. I any teenager I would say could watch it with
yeah, it's a pretty
parents'
clean
discretion.
movie. Yeah, it's
But yeah, so it's a great movie. The messages are great. One of the main thrusts of the movie is cliche, but it's what it's talking about, which
Yeah.
is never give up on your dreams. I feel so inspirational just saying
And
that
it's like,
on
never
air.
give up on your dreams.
Never give up on your dreams. That's
and,
right.
And like the main person that was referenced was Taki.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like obviously a guy that was in high school and had a job and had a lot going for him. And so when they come back and they're, everything's, all the plot is over with, main plot, and then they are back in their bodies, and it's like several years later. So this is like maybe college or getting into career age. So they're probably like maybe 20.
Yeah, they're pushing 20.
In their 20,
probably
mid-20s.
Early,
Early,
mid-twids.
like 22, 23, 24, somewhere around there. And so he's looking for a job, and you see him go in interview process and stuff like that. He didn't get the job. He still has his buddies from the original, I guess the first parts of his years.
Yeah, in high school.
In high school, his high school buddies, and so he talks about his dreams and talks about he's like, doesn't really matter about like all this career junk. He's like, yes, I want that. That's nice, but he said like, for some reason, I have something I'm searching for still.
He knows he's searching for something. And
Yeah.
because of the time-traveling body swapping, it
So
causes
after
people to forget.
So they even forgot, like, they knew, I think they, like, when you kind of, like, recognize this, they know everything that went on, but they forget the person's name and a lot of kind of, like, main, I guess, I don't know, like, details are enough to, like, kind of, like, narrow them down.
Yes, it's just a blurry
Kind of like a
memory.
It's kind of like it's kind of like something that you're kind of like as a kid. You're like, oh, this is what I remember as a kid. So that's what they're kind of,
Well, you could even describe it as a dream.
yeah,
Yeah, waking up from a dream.
And
You kind
so-
of had foggy memory, but you
Yeah.
know you were something was
Yeah.
there.
And so that was, what Taki it kind of showed, and when he was kind of narrating, he's like, I'm searching for. He's like, I don't know what it is, but I'm searching for, maybe it be person, maybe it be this, because he'd even say like, because he don't remember specifically. He's just like, I'm searching for something.
Yeah, and Mitsuha felt the same way.
Yeah.
She moved to Tokyo, and
Yes.
she was searching for something. And when they were swapping and they had finally met, they were so dedicated to one another. They were like, I'm gonna be with you forever. I'm gonna find you again. And as they got older, that dream, that hope kind of died out, but it was
Yeah.
always
Still
there.
still there. And it's kind of like the best way to put it is like if someone had like a dream to like like a career dream or something like that, and they never gave it up. And like some people I work with go to when you go in the real world and you see people and they and they're stuck in this job. And then it's like, they have these dreams, and they're like, I want to do this with my life. And, everyone has this something like, kind of like, oh, I want to do this. But even though they're stuck or they feel like they can't get out of the situation they're in, they still have this kind of like this thing of, they kind of feel like they, not really a getaway, but kind of like a thing like, hey, I still want to do that
Yeah.
if I can. And it was kind of like them is like, they're obviously adults and, and now they don't have all the details, and they can't really just go pinpoint like they did earlier where she could find him. She tried to find Taki before, but she didn't have his name anymore. She didn't have all the details, so they basically this is kind of like this hopeful.
Yeah, but in the end, they were able to
Yeah,
find
they
each
were
other,
at
and
the
it
end.
ended happily.
It was so great, like just seeing how that just randomly they just come across. It's kind of like this natural, just like they're going back home in Japan. They usually get on trains, these trains that get kind of like New York, kind of like these trains to get back home and go to the stops and go wherever. And I guess it was from
Yeah, they pass each other
they pass each other on the
trains,
opposite
and
trains.
they see each other and recognize somehow that I know
There's
this person
something.
from
They're
somewhere.
Like, this person's important. I just don't know how.
Yeah.
And what like I remember them somewhere, and I know they're important. So they just get out and they try to rush in, and it's that that kind of like
Yeah,
this-
but that I mean the thing at the end, they've had this dream, they've woken up from it,
yeah
but they're still pursuing this hope to find this other person. And I think what it's encouraging the audience to do is, if you have a dream to go do something, to go find someone, be with someone, don't give up on it. Keep pushing, keep searching. As a Christian, keep trusting in God.
Yeah.
Put your dreams in His hands, your hopes. Like for me, I have a dream to be a pastor, and so I'm doing everything I can to pursue that dream. And I think God honors the desires of people if they, they're within His
Yeah,
law.
it's like
His
James
command.
says I think it's James is like we're a mist, and our life is just going to be here, like it's going to be here now, and then it's going to be gone like that, like really quick. And James is trying to get at is, are you going to, are you going to say, hey, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that? And our dreams are nice and all, but when you're focusing on just the end goals and all these things without God in any shape or form, then your dreams become an idol.
Yeah. And so there's an encouragement, but there's also a warning.
A warning
there.
is like, that's why we're like, this, it's all hunky-dory, like many things that you watch and stuff like that. We'll talk about follow your dreams, but there is a catch to it.
Yeah. Don't follow them if they stray from God.
Yeah.
Another thing that this movie does a great job of, and we've talked about how the animation adds to this,
Yes.
but also showing the beauty in all walks of life. You've got Taki in Tokyo, Mitsuha when she's in Taki's body in
that was so
Tokyo,
neat.
and you get to see all these beautiful sights of the city, the bright blue skies, the hustle and bustle.
And it's kind of like the
of
thing
daily
is,
life.
It was kind of interesting is like another theme was they took the things there when they were in their own body. They took the places that they were in. They always wanted. Taki really didn't want to leave. He was okay, but
he was an artist. He liked
Yeah.
drawing landscapes.
yeah. So
and,
he had that like so when they switched, they kind of took their place for granted in a sense.
yeah.
And so when they kind of seen the other places, they're like, oh, this is beautiful and stuff like that. And then they kind of realize, kind of shows the beauty of the both places,
Yeah,
the
and
city and the town, and just how the different lives are beautiful in their own ways. Yeah.
and I think as Christians we should be able to be the best ones to see that beauty everywhere we
Yeah.
go and see God as the creator
Yeah.
and designer of that.
He created all things, and that's the thing is obviously this world is messed up and broken, but it's God's creation still, and it's still, you can still see the beauty of what God's hands created.
Yeah.
And just walking outside, even though the weather may not be the best or stuff like that, you can still see the beauty of the trees, the nature, animals. Like I got a dog biting my foot every time I walk in my house. That he's a great dog. But it's just these things like that we kind of take for granted, and this kind of highlights all the beauty of nature and the beauty of just the different aspects of life. And with our Christian walk is even like my thing is I always wanted to travel, and God kind of convicted me towards missions. So my human nature, I'll kind of like disregard where I'm at, and I'm like, oh, I want to leave. So when you want to leave or something like that, like as high school students, and I talk to a lot of people. When they, like they just want to leave their hometown or leave, they want to kind of be in different places. It may not be a specific place, but they want to be in even a different part of their life, in a sense. It's like, I want to grow up, or a lot of people, and then when you're grown up, they kind of regret. I wish I was young again.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, we need to be content and see the beauty wherever God places us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And so we are running out of time, but and I think one of the biggest things we can see, and was an interesting takeaway on this last time I saw the movie, was the fact that as Mitsuha and Taki experienced each other's lives, at first they were really interested in, Mitsuha just wanted to be around Tokyo and get to see all the new sights. Taki just kind of enjoyed being able to figure out what was going on with all his friends, all of Mitsuha's people and relations.
And kind of seeing the nature and how he like sketched and
Yeah.
stuff. So he kind of liked that, but then
It was more focused on the place,
Yeah, the
kind
place,
of
yeah.
the surroundings. But as the story progresses, you begin to see as Taki and Mitsuha both really develop feelings and attraction towards each other, towards the person in the other place, not
Yeah.
just the environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the end of the movie, Taki and Mizuha, they're not, pushing to like Mizuha really wants to go back into Taki's body so she can be in Tokyo, but she wants to meet Taki and she wants to be with him,
Yeah,
not just.
it was kind of saying like before she wanted to be him. She wanted to kind of. It may not be because she wanted to be like a dude or anything. She wanted to be like she just wanted to have that life
Yeah.
in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of neat to see. Like then they wanted now they instead of just each other trying to go to different places. Then now they wanted to be they wanted to be in the same spot, see each other, kind of.
Yeah.
And what was it you mentioned in our thing that we're kind of address is like the heaven, right?
Yeah.
Like
As
a Christian example is like a lot of songs that really rub me raw is like they always talk about like this heaven is a beautiful place, but then there's a concept of just
you want to get to heaven so you can be happy forever and
then
don't have to deal with
so-
sin or pain
so
or
then
anything
it's
like
just
that.
kind of like escape feeling of like
Mhm.
I gotta get to heaven now, and and kind of like see the concept of the Bible is with the Holy Spirit, God, sending His Holy Spirit is kind of heaven is kind of in us now in a sense is we have that aspect of God and His characteristics and what He's done in our life, and He's still in control. So it's kind of like when we do go to heaven, it's going to be like that relationship. Saying
Yeah,
like,
the
kinda like
focus
how they-
isn't going to be on
that
the
place.
place.
It's going to be the person of Jesus Christ and God. So when we go there, it's not going to be like, yeah, I'm in heaven. This is great. It's going to be, thank you, Lord. I love you, and it's going to be more of
Yeah, it's
worship.
like, yeah, I get to be with
I get to be with
with
God,
Jesus,
God and Christ.
And it's that relationship that as Christians, as we grow, I think our focus is going to be less and less on, I just want to get away from pain or hurt, or I just want to be happy and at peace. I think we'll still have those, but our driving passion will be more and more to, I want to know
that will-
Christ and
yeah.
be with him.
And that kind of, if we have that reflection of wanting to know the person instead of just, because a lot of people, I'm not trying to get on to, not just preachers, but when they preach stuff like, kind of like the not really, just people would say like kind of not like they accept the gospel and one and done type thing, and it kind of shows how we, see God as He truly is and live our life for Him. And it's not just, I make this decision and I get to this place. It's, I'm going to live for the Lord because He created me.
Yeah. So lots of other things we could talk about, but that's Your Name. We got to sign off right now, but great movie. and
Yes.
We'll see you later.
Have a good day, guys.